Thanks so much for visiting Tea and Butty on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode we're going to be talking about where to shop in the UK.
Yes.
All the time. Or not just for Christmas. Because a shop is for life.
Yes.
Not just for Christmas.
They're open all the time, yeah.
All year round. They don't just open at Christmas. They open all year round.
But if you are in Britain or you're going to Britain anytime soon and you need to know like where to do your shopping.
Yeah, we had someone on Instagram ask for that. Diana. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then
shout out to Diana though.
Yeah. Then hopefully this podcast will help you. We're just going to kind of mention the top stores.
Top stores, yeah, the most popular ones anyway, you know, because I mean, I'm sure like there's little local businesses that are really great, but you know, we don't really know about them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's going to be tons. Yeah, well, he was putting into Google top stores in Britain. No, top places to shop, and I said
top
no.
shops.
I said no. I was like, no, you can't put that up because Diagon Alley's going to come up.
Diagon Alley, yes, that's a great place to shop. Have you ever been there? Borgin and Burke's. Oh, actually, Borgin and Burke's is on Nocturne Alley.
Nocturne Alley, yeah.
Yeah, that's another good place to go.
That's the place for the other.
It's a creepy shop, and I'm a creepy bloke.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, anyway, we are currently looking at the YouGov website.
YouGov, which is the greatest website that the British government could ever have.
Yeah, so we're going to look at a couple of websites just to get, I mean, obviously we've been there. Dominic used to live there, so we kind of know stores already, but just to like have some in mind to talk about with you. We're looking at YouGov at the moment.
Yeah, and it's sorted by popularity. So number 1 is Marks and Spencer.
Yeah.
Can you believe Marks and Spencer is number 1?
I mean, we've mentioned Marks and Spencer before.
Out of all of this, it's probably the oldest one, actually.
On our supermarkets list, because they also do food. You can get food from Marks and Spencer's. But if you are in the market for products other than food, then you can go to Marks and Spencer to get that also. They have clothing and clothing accessories. I think maybe there's like homeware stuff there too if you go into a big enough Marks and Spencer's. Because some of them are sort of small to me.
Yeah.
Smallish,
yeah.
But then I know we went in a big one maybe in Carmarthen or I don't know where, and it seemed like it was maybe even like 2 floors tall.
Yeah, some of them can have like, well, yeah, about 2 floors is the maximum, I think. I don't think you're going to find a 3-floor one.
So what would you say is the demographic of Marks and Spencer's demographic?
Well, my gran loved it.
Yeah. So there you go.
People, yeah, my gran loved it. My gran loved food shopping there.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was a kid, my mother would go to Marks. You know, they call it Marks. I mean, now it's branded as M&S. Well, it's kind of like, you know, how Kentucky Fried Chicken used to be Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Not that it's anything like Kentucky Fried Chicken at Marks and Spencer.
You know, like these people, they brand it because they think it's modern to just do the letters now.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think, you know, it's Marks and Spencer. It was Marks and Spencer for years.
Yeah.
Why is it suddenly M&S?
It's an old department store.
Oh, it's been about the 1800s, I think.
You can find it in most cities in Britain, I would say, right?
Probably every city, yeah.
Every city. What could you compare it to in the United States, do you think? Because it's not
Sears,
really
maybe,
like
JCPenney's.
Yeah. Yes. Except for they also have a grocery section.
They have this grocery section, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just food.
It's a little bit.
It's M&S food.
It's a little bit high end.
It's high end, and they've because years ago.
It's high end, but it is a little bit older. It's not super trendy.
It's not, well, no, it's not super trendy. It can't be anymore. Because when I was a kid, it was called Marks and Spencer's. It was what it was called, you know. And they used to have like I used to get my school.
It's actually
clothes.
Marks and Spencer. We say Marks and Spencer's. Like I'm going to Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, Marks and Spencer.
Like Marks and Spencer's house.
Yeah. Marks and Spencer. It had the clothes and everything, and their food thing wasn't so big back then.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of things. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to go there, and they had their own clothing brand called St. Michael's, because I remember.
Oh yeah,
St. Michael's. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
And I don't think they call it that anymore. I think it's called something else now. Maybe it's just Marks and Spencer or M&S or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's right. You'd get like a Marks and Spencer's jumper.
Right. Right.
And they were kind of like it wasn't that trendy, Because I remember, funnily enough, a Beatles reference coming up. John Lennon saying that about people who like jazz music. They always wear Marks and Spencer's jumpers.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Yeah, because it's kind of like that's where you get your Christmas jumper from. Sweater.
Yeah.
Because that's what they look like, and I always got one. I always got like a
sort
Marks
of
and Spencer's
like
jumper.
It's sort of like a dumbed down Harrods for the masses.
Yes.
Right? It's like high end ish, but a chain.
It's a chain, yes.
Yeah.
I think they started out as a grocery store, funnily enough.
Oh,
but then
really?
They became like this department store.
Mm-hmm.
And my gran loved it. My gran would always go, "Oh, I'm going to Marks and I need to get you something for Christmas and I need to go and you need to come with me so I know what you like so I can pick out things."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't really like anything from Marks and Spencer. I don't buy there.
Yeah,
but she wanted to buy there because, Marks and Spencer's been around all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal. But yes, anyway.
Number 2 on this list, you guys.
Number two on
it's
this
not
list.
British.
It's not British, no.
So we won't spend too much time on it.
IKEA,
yeah.
I mean,
you probably know what IKEA is.
IKEA's worldwide, yes. So it's it's a department and a home store.
They don't have.
It's kind of fun going there for your first time, but then it's like,
It's fun until you want to leave and you have to go through the maze to get out because there's no like direct way to get out other than through the maze, and then you just kind of like, okay, this is not funny anymore. They do not have IKEAs in small towns in America, though, so possibly some of our listeners have never been to IKEA. Yeah,
they don't really I don't think there's an IKEA where I used to live, and it's kind of small. I've lived in a kind of a small town or area. I think the nearest one was...
I mean, we only have one, I think, in Austin, and it's not even in Austin, it's in Round Rock. So, yeah. It's a furniture store.
People drive from San Antonio, don't they? Oh no, they drove up from Laredo.
From Corpus Christi.
So I was like, we're driving up to IKEA. I was like, wow, that's like 2 days journey.
Somebody came and bought something that we were selling online, and they stopped.
We're going to IKEA, it was like Clark Griswold going to.
We've come to town to go to IKEA, so we'll stop at your house on the way. Yeah. Anyway, number 3.
Number 3 is Wilko. Do you remember Wilko?
I have been in Wilko. I can't remember exactly.
It was called Wilkinson back then when I was a kid. Well,
it's a bit like, in my mind, from what I can remember, like Big Lots.
A little bit like that, yes.
Just kind of everything.
Everything, yeah.
And but it was sort of discounty.
It was in the mall.
Yeah.
As they like to say. It was in the mall anyway, in the town where I lived, and that used to be a co-op, funnily enough, Co-op Living, which was another department store.
Yeah.
Attached to the grocery store of the same name, which we talked about in an earlier podcast, so go listen to that. But yeah, Wilkinson, you go there to buy pretty much everything you can think of, like shaving. I used to go there and get my toiletries, and you can get like homeware there.
It's relatively
like
kind of cheaps.
Relatively kind of cheap, yeah. It's
like Big Lots.
It used to be called Wilkinson's.
Yeah.
But then everybody called it Wilko. So they decided, we'll just rebrand as Wilko.
British people love a nickname. Yeah. They love to
going
shorten
down Wilko,
innit?
Got it from Wilko. You can get everything there.
You can get some food stuff, I think. Like snacky kind of
stuff. Yeah, like sandwiches and
But
drinks.
you can also get like clocks.
clocks.
Right. Rugs.
Yeah.
Shower curtains.
It was very random.
Yeah.
It's
It's very
place.
like Big Lots when I think about it.
Yeah, when I went into Big Lots, I did get a Wilkinson's feel or Wilco feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Light bulbs, lamps.
Light bulbs. Yeah, I need to go to Wilkinson's to get a light bulb.
Yeah.
That's where I went there.
But maybe
I
also
got
like
aftershave there.
back in the day, you could probably get a Walkman there. Like,
I don't know how long Wilkinson's has been going.
They might have like
it's been going
a
since
small
the 90s.
toy section too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Christmas
it's like Big
stuff
Lots.
you get there. You know, like they put out their Christmas stuff. They apparently have like they go big on Christmas, so you can go get Christmas deckies there.
Yeah.
Decorations.
Deckies.
Christmas decos, mate.
Moving on.
Number 4 on the list is B&Q. Now, can we guess what B&Q is?
B&Q. Okay.
It's basically
No,
Home
I know.
Depot.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to give them a moment to guess.
Well, they had their moment.
Okay, we had a big discussion, Dominic and I, because if you look at B&Q's logo, it looks pretty much exactly like Home Depot.
It's almost exactly the same. And I think Home
It's
Depot
orange
were
and
going to buy
white.
B&Q at one point, but they had nothing to do with each other, and they haven't sued each other over, like, branding
image, or anything.
But it's almost exactly the same store.
Mm-hmm.
You go in Home Depot, you think you're in a B&Q. You go in a B&Q, you think you're in Home Depot. It's like, it's so strange. And you think, oh, well, they got to be owned by the same company. Nope.
Their logo's even orange and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so strange because, and I did some research on it, and apparently they're not owned by each other. You know,
they're nothing to do with each other.
With each other. I think B&Q are owned by like a home base, or there's like someone owns them, like who's a big in. I think they own Screwfix and all that too, which I think might be on this list. You know, like DIY stores.
Yeah.
And I think Home Depot were going to buy B&Q, but then they just didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's happening, why they look exactly the same, why, you know.
So if you need a plant, if you need lumber, if you need like a
lumber,
new fixtures
for and fittings and light bulbs.
Yeah,
and
something for a part for your toilet.
Part for your toilet, yes.
That's where you're going to go, B&Q. B&Q is the place.
B&Q is the place to go. It's the place to be. Number 5, John Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to a John Lewis.
There's not one around. I mean, there's obviously one in London, but it's that's kind of like your big one, you know. We're talking about it's kind of like it's a classic department store like Marks and Spencer. Mm-hmm. It's all over the place, but you know, you usually see Marks and Spencer more. Yeah, John Lewis is not just in London. It's kind of in all the big towns.
It's like the chain of Macy's.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you have the original Macy's in New York City, and that's an old store. You would consider a little bit more akin to Harrods, only it's not even as upmarket as Harrods, really, I don't think. It was at one time.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, it was at one time, but then the chain, the actual chain that you can find Macy's stores all around the United States, that's probably like John Lewis.
It's like John Lewis, yeah.
I don't know if I've been inside John Lewis.
No, they've got they've got a flagship store on Oxford Street which does like a display for every Christmas.
I think they had one in Cardiff.
Because I mean, they have that famous Christmas adverts every year.
Maybe we went through it in Cardiff.
Maybe, yeah. It's a department store. I mean, you know, you go in a department store, you wonder which department store you're in because they look relatively the same.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing unique about department stores. They're all kind of on the same model, aren't they?
Yeah, upscale. I mean, you know, designer stuff.
If you were blindfolded and they took you from, I don't know, Marks and Spencer, say, to a John Lewis.
Yeah.
And said, which one are you in, without, you know, like looking for like a sign, you know,
I would say, and this is judging by like what I've seen online.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember if I've actually been in John Lewis, so this may not be right. But I would say that John Lewis has slightly younger clothing than Marks and
It's
Spencer.
a little bit more trendier.
Just ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly. And I think that's because of their Christmas adverts. Everybody goes, "Oh, I want to go there." You know, Edgar the Excitable Dragon, Monty the Penguin.
I mean, obviously, like we're making them sound like they're just stores for older people, but obviously they've got like baby clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like stuff that your grandma would buy for your kid rather than stuff that you would buy for your kid, or stuff that your kid themselves would want.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next one is Screwfix.
Yeah.
Which is...
I never heard of this store, but I mean, I can...
It used to be a catalog. As I remember,
Oh,
I didn't
really?
even know if it was I didn't know it was a store. I thought you ordered it from the catalog and it just came from a
So do we
department
know
store.
if it is a store? Yeah, department
it's a
store.
department
it
home
says.
store now. Screwfix has become like a big thing.
So where do they have these then? If you didn't know that there was an actual
they have
physical
them
location of
hidden
them,
away in like shopping centers and retail parks.
they have them. They're hidden, Erica.
They're hidden away. They're in a place I can't find.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's going to be the title of this podcast. A place you can't find.
So if you are British and you're listening and you have a Screwfix in wherever you live, or you know where one is, let us know if it's in a place you can find, or if it's in a hidden
remembers
place.
getting a Screwfix catalogue, don't they? I mean, you know, in Britain, everybody remembers, it's a Screwfix catalogue, and your dad would like go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I need a part for my drill, or I need a nail," and you'd phone them up, and they'd deliver it to you. I guess Screwfix became that popular.
Okay, so just based on that alone, I'm gonna say it's like a Harbor Freight.
I don't know what that is. What's a Harbor Freight?
It's like a Home Depot, only much smaller.
Yeah, Screwfix. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah,
it's a lot more like, I don't know what you would call. I don't know what you call those kind of stores. Not DIY stores. What's like the actual older fashioned name for those kind of stores? Hardware store.
Hardware.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah. She got excited. She had to whack the thing. You know.
I get excited. I hit the microphone, you guys. Sorry if you heard a little.
Hardware store. Yeah.
Hardware store. Yes.
You almost did it again there.
Hardware store. Yes. That's it. Screwfix. We got it. We can move
like,
on now. I mean, I'm
move on now
good.
because Wix. Wix again. Number 7, Wix.
What is that?
It's another hardware store. Ow.
Wow, why? Oh my god, we're getting too excited, you guys. We're gonna knock
hardware store.
We're gonna knock the whole setup over.
As I remember it is anyway. I don't know if they've branched out, have they? They might have home I mean,
you're asking the wrong
I haven't
person.
been to Britain in a long time, so I don't know.
Yeah. Why are hardware and home stores and DIY stores so popular in Britain? That
People
these
like
are the
doing a bit of
top
DIY.
stores?
They're like going, "Oh, got to get my garden shed stuff." Yeah, got to get tools for my garden shed.
You know what?
Got to build my garden
We're
shed.
already on almost number 8, and I have not seen my favorite store on this list. So I am negating this entire list. Yes.
It's by popularity.
No, it's not. They're lying.
These are the most
they
popular
are lying.
stores.
Who?
These are department and home stores.
Oh, well.
Yeah. The most popular department and
Okay,
home
so
stores
maybe
in
that
the
explains
UK.
why. Okay, maybe that explains why my store is not on this list. Okay, well, we keep moving, and then maybe we can talk about it in a minute. Number 8.
Debenhams.
Yeah.
Now, everybody remembers Debenhams.
Yeah.
It's a department. It's a classic department store.
Mm.
It's kind of like Macy's. You go in there. We've been into Debenhams. It's kind of like what British Home Stores was too. British Home Stores is now gone. It collapsed.
Debenhams, though.
Quite literally, I think.
Debenhams, though, does have slightly more trendy stuff.
Trendy stuff, yeah. I think
For
they've
women,
managed
anyway.
to, yeah, because I mean these department stores, they've got to keep afloat somehow because they're all sort of the similar thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like Littlewoods. I mean, Littlewoods was a department store. I used to go and they had a cafe. That's one of the things in Britain is like every department store has a cafe attached to it.
Yeah.
And over here, you don't really see that.
Well, Nordstrom's, I think, has one.
Yeah, but that's it. But in Britain, it's like, oh, they cater to people who are shopping, and it's just like, oh, I need to go and have a cup of tea
Well,
now.
because British people can't go 5 minutes without having a cup of tea. That's
a cup of tea and maybe a little pastry or a cake too. So, that's right up your alley, that is. So don't you be bitching about it. Debenhams, though, and Littlewoods is the same thing as Littlewoods. Littlewoods was the same sort of thing, and they had a catalogue, and I don't even know if Littlewoods exist anymore. They're not on this list anyway, so maybe they've gone.
Yeah.
I haven't done the research on it, but Debenhams is the same sort of thing.
Oh my god, the next one is...
Dunelm.
That is another DIY
Dunelm
store,
Mill.
isn't it? Oh, wait. Is it or is it, like, furniture?
It's furniture.
Okay, that's it, yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, we've been there.
Debenhams does clothes as well, though, just to recap. And,
yeah.
I don't think they really do furniture. Maybe they do, I don't know. But Dunelm, number 9, Dunelm, and it used to be called Dunelm Mill. So I guess they've dropped the mill from their name.
Yeah.
It would seem. That was like textiles and stuff and furniture and bedclothes and everything, We went in one.
Yeah, so what would you compare it to? Maybe like an Ashley Furniture over here?
Maybe like a Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Bed Bath & Beyond doesn't really have furniture, though.
Well, what's the Beyond for, then?
My grandmother used to say that, too.
It's Bed Bath & Beyond. What's beyond bed and bath?
Living room, I guess. Kitchen.
Yeah. Bed Bath & Beyond.
Dunelm. I think Dunelm had more furniture than like a Bed Bath & Beyond. But yeah, I see where you're going with that. I think number 10 is Home Base, and I think that's more like a Bed Bath & Beyond. Isn't it?
No, it's more like a B&Q.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's Home Base. Texas. The store Texas.
Yeah.
Texas Home Base used to be like merged. But then Texas closed and was like, that was a DIY store. It was called Texas.
Okay.
Because everybody made that joke when I moved here. It's like, oh, I'm moving to Texas. Oh, I thought they'd closed. Ho ho. Do It All was another one.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm just listing defunct hardware stores now. Hardware chains.
So now we're going to move on to a different list.
A different list
from Trip Savvy.
And this one has your favorite on there.
Yes. The only reason we're doing this is because it has to be mentioned. Because, you don't always want to go shop in a department store. First of all, department store prices are usually more expensive.
Yeah.
So, it's not always somewhere that you want to go necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially when you're just going like clothes shopping, you want to go somewhere easy. In Britain, they call them high street fashion.
Fast fashion.
Places,
fast
fashion.
Fast fashion, yeah.
Yeah. And and that basically means cheap.
It's all made in lovely factories where people are made
by fairies.
Fairies who are very
They
happy.
don't even have to do anything. They just sprinkle dust and everything's made.
Yes. Beautiful.
This list has separated the 3 top department stores in London only.
The London 3.
The London 3. I guess that means that these stores they don't
By
have
fame.
they don't have any branches though anywhere else in the UK.
No, I mean Harrods does have like an outlet at the airport.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Because there's
And funnily enough, talking about Harrods, there's a lot of like places around the UK that try to like do their answer to Harrods. Like in Torquay, whoever might be listening to this in Torquay will know Hooper's.
Okay.
And that's Torquay's answer to Harrods. It's the same sort of thing. It's a department store on the Strand, it's all very like, oh yes, They've even got little people that like open the door for you and all that,
Yeah. I'm trying to think because, like, there's big department stores in New York City, but as far as I can think, they all have at least maybe a couple of other locations around the United States. So, like, I'm thinking Bloomingdale's, Bergdorf Goodman,
Van Cleef and Arpels,
Saks Fifth Avenue.
Saks Fifth Avenue. Off the avenue is what it's called, isn't it? Fifth.
But yeah,
I've seen that over here.
So I can't really think of any big department stores that only exist like
in one city.
Yeah. I mean,
Harrods
that's going to be a testament to the size of your country.
Fortnum
though,
and Mason as well, and Liberty as well.
So the big three in London, the London three, as
the big
site
three
calls
are
it.
Harrods, Liberty, and Fortnum and Mason.
Yeah, and we've never been in Liberty or Fortnum and Mason.
Fortnum and Mason is like, oh yeah, it's very, very
Liberty
upmarket.
looks really cool. You guys, I don't know if it's real or not, but I've seen people go there on YouTube, and it's like in a big Tudor style building.
Something, yeah.
I don't know if it's genuine or if it's
Liberties, they call it. Yeah.
Faux Tudor. I don't know what they mock Tudor.
Mock Tudor, that's it. Yes. Mock Tudor there.
Faux Tudor.
A little bit of mock Tudor for you.
No, but the building itself looks really, really cool. I don't know if it's actually that old. I have a feeling it's probably not, but the building looks really, really awesome, and the store is like, I don't know, 7 stories tall or something. It looks to be online anyway. Fortnum and Mason, I've never really seen much.
That's basically another Harrods.
Yeah,
it's very upmarket.
Harrods, I'm just sorry to skip over that, but I'm just assuming that most people listening to this podcast at least probably have
expensive.
Probably have heard of Harrods.
£4,000 for a slice of cake.
Yeah, no. It was for a whole cake. You could get the whole
Actually,
cake.
it was about £5,000.
Harrods is a very famous department store. They used to sell
Who in God's name would
exotic.
pay £5,000 for a cake?
They used to sell a lot of people who are getting married. I think that
it wasn't even a wedding cake. It was like it
had fruit,
fruity kind of like, you know.
It was decorated with fruit.
It's like, this did not cost $5,000 to make. You are laughing in your bloody head, mate.
But yeah, so this site, then the next stores that they list for fashion and luxuries are Harvey Nichols, Selfridges, which if you watch PBS, you've maybe seen Mr. Selfridge.
Yeah, he was like he was an American who came over and decided that women liked shopping.
Well, he wanted
very astute.
Well, no,
man.
I think he wanted to open. I think it was because of Macy's. He was like, oh, they need something like that over here.
Yeah, I mean, well, Harrods might be too expensive, so we're gonna do a Selfridge department store.
Yeah. Something that focuses on fashion rather than
focus on women's fashion.
Because like in Harrods, I started to say a second ago, they used to sell like exotic animals. You used to be able to kind of get everything in Harrods. It was definitely not just focused on fashion. I mean, they have halls and halls just of food.
Yes.
They had
Harrods, yeah.
Yeah, they had animals at one point. It was a crazy store. So Selfridges was like, oh, let's focus on fashion and luxuries. I don't know what. So Harvey Nichols,
Harvey
Selfridges.
Nichols is another one for posh people.
Fenwick or Fenwick? Fenwick, yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled Fenwick.
Yeah, I don't know this store.
It's similar to Harvey Nichols. It's kind of like a fashion department kind of store, you know, and fashion like luxuries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all the people who have money shop there, you know, like, oh yes, shopping at Harvey Nicks and Fenwick and Selfridges. Yes, darling, you know.
Then they have a British Classics.
The British Classics,
list.
Which are Marks and Spencer and John Lewis.
Yeah, which we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
For everyday shopping, they mention
House of Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of think we have that over here, but maybe
House
not.
of Fraser. Yeah. I got like clothes from House of Fraser once.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
And Debenhams, which we've mentioned.
Debenhams, yeah.
So I'm assuming because they've put House of Fraser in this category with Debenhams, they're similar stores.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never been there. I
House of Fraser, yeah, it's everyday shopping, as they say. You know, you go there and
it's not too expensive.
It's not too expensive, but it's
nice.
more than than someone who's on a budget would willing to pay.
More than my favorite store, which is the last category.
Cheap and cheerful.
Cheap and cheerful category. And the store is called Primark.
Yeah,
and if you spend any amount of time on YouTube whatsoever, you have seen somebody do a Primark haul because the clothes are just so cheap at Primark. And you guys, they're cheap in price, and let's be honest, they are cheap.
They fall apart after like a month.
But it's okay because you didn't pay that much, and then you can just like recycle them, and it's good, you know. I know that sounds really horrible and wasteful. It sounds horrible
because a lot of like Primark's business practices have been called into disrepute.
Well, just the fact that there's so much clothing that ends up in landfills and stuff, and if it's not made with like organic products like cotton and linen and stuff like that, if it's made with like polyester and nylon and spandex and stuff, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So sorry to have this podcast like take a dark turn because I do like Primark. I know
Primark is good. I mean, it doesn't just sell. It's focused on fashion and everything. It's focused on clothes, but it also sells like trinkets and bits and bobs and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's got bathrobes and house shoes
and
they've.
When I was 16, I think that was the first time I went in a Primark.
Yeah.
In Torquay, and I was with my sister, and I found these really awesome like Indian like white. It was summer. Yeah. White kind of like clothing, and I found this awesome shirt with like a lace kind of like do up. You know, it was very kind of vintage but modern.
Yeah,
because that was coming back in those days, and I loved them so much. You know, that was great. Primark was fantastic.
But you can't go there like expecting to find something that's gonna last you for several years.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's not.
They don't have. There's other stores in Britain that are sort of, I'd say, between the everyday shopping and the Primarks, like Next, Peacocks.
Yeah.
Topshop,
Top Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot Topic.
Oh, that's over here.
I think that's in Britain too. Hot Topic.
I think actually Topshop is over here. They also have Zara, which is not actually a British store. It's a Spanish store, but it's very popular in Britain. Zara. And they do have some locations in the US too.
Yes. H&M. You forgot your favorite.
H&M. I forget. Well, I didn't forget it, but we have H&Ms in the United States
Forever
now,
21.
So, yeah, and we have Forever 21s. I think Forever 21 started over here, and it's closing. Anyway, it's going out of business, so it doesn't count. But yeah, I think we're done. So hopefully we've like given you a little bit of an idea of, what about electronics really quickly before we wrap it up?
Yeah,
so tell them what's like a Best Buy equivalent in Britain.
Curry's PC World.
Okay. Yeah.
Curry's and PC World used to be separate stores, but I think they've merged now.
Yeah.
In this trying climate.
Yeah.
And so it's Curry's PC World is one. Dixon's. Oh, I don't even know if Dixon still exists.
I mean, Amazon is putting so many of those stores, types of stores out of business.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because everybody buys electronics
online now. They don't have to go in and try them on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still kind of, when I go to Best Buy or something like that, I still like to look at the computers and look at them and, go, oh, yeah, test it out here.
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to go away, you know.
But now they have Macs, Apple stores and Windows stores. So you don't really, those are the two main computer brands.
Although, going into one of them,
Although we use HP, #, not sponsored.
Hewlett Packard, not sponsored.
Yeah. They don't have.
And it's been a great computer,
store, I don't think.
No.
So.
They don't.
So you'd have to go and get that from somewhere
else.
Well,
Windows is kind of like the.
Oh yeah, that's
it's
true.
The browser. It's the operating system. Yeah,
that's right.
Apple. Yeah.
I wonder if I mean we have been in a Windows store, but I've never really looked. I think
we were going to go there with your dad once, but it didn't happen.
No, I think that was the Apple store.
Was it?
But I wonder. I don't know if they sell HP laptops in the Windows store.
Dell? Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They sell also Lenovo, all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I mean,
Compaq.
Windows has some of their own. I'm not a very technological. I'm not a very technological.
Oddly
person,
enough,
guys,
they probably should make laptops. Just a Windows brand laptop.
Okay, we're ranting now, and we're like falling off course, but
yeah, I'm gonna build my own computer one day anyway, so you know. Okay, but anyway. No, it's been a dream of mine. I want to tell you, everyone, about this dream of mine on this episode, that I'm going to build a computer one day. And if I build it, they will come.
On this very moving episode.
Okay, I think that's it. I think we're done now. On that bombshell. On that bombshell, yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for listening. As always, we really, 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 really appreciate it. Do all the things, like and subscribe and comment down below. I don't even know. I'm delirious.
Delirious with all the podcasts.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.